on sickle cell anemia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, my name is Kimber Gosier. I'm president of Advancing Sickle Cell Advocacy Project, better known as ASAP.
Mm-hmm. All righty. And you have your daughter with you today?
Yes, I do.
All right. So
You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Courtney.
Okay, so she wants us to call her Courtney. All right.
No problem.
All right, Courtney.
Or Mary.
All right, we're gonna get started.
You can see the questions.
I need glasses now, y'all. Anyways, so Kimber, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can tell a bit about your daughter, and just a little bit, and then we dive right into it.
Yeah. Well, my name is Kimber. Like I said, my daughter Courtney. I have 2 daughters. She's my oldest, and then I have a younger daughter, Erica, who has sickle cell trait.
Okay.
But she actually has sickle cell SS.
Okay.
So I was a teenage mom.
Okay.
So when she was born, there wasn't a whole lot of knowledge. I actually never knew anybody with sickle cell.
Oh,
And no one in my family had the disease.
Oh.
So come to find out, we all have the trait, because when she was born, everyone went and got checked and stuff. Come to find out, we all have the trait.
Mm-hmm.
But I never knew anyone with sickle cell.
You didn't know you was a
like
carrier or anything.
Correct. I didn't know I had the trait. I didn't know what that was.
Okay.
And especially me being a teenager,
Yeah.
So
So that must have been hard, then.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to
okay.
grow up fast.
Yeah, I
So-
can imagine. Yeah, because it's already hard for a teenager, but a mom teenager with a baby, with sickle cell,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I got the letter in the mail. She was tested at birth,
Mm-hmm.
and they screen all newborns at birth. So
Yeah.
they screened her. The letter came in the mail, and the funny thing is, because I was a teenager, like my family intercepted the letter, like my aunt and my mom. So I didn't know anything until she was like maybe 5 or 6 months, and then they said, okay, Courtney came back that she has the sickle cell disease. So they want you to go into the hematologist to confirm everything.
Okay.
So when she was 6 months, it was confirmed. I still didn't understand it. Back then it wasn't like a whole lot of knowledge on the internet and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, and she looks healthy. She was almost 9 pounds when she was born and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with my baby. I don't know what they're talking about. So that's the kind of mentality I had, especially being young.
Yeah.
So reality set in when she was like a year and a half. And she started getting sick. It started off with fevers.
Yeah.
And like high fevers, 103, 104, can't bring it down.
Wow.
That's how this disease started manifesting in her with high temperatures. And then it progressed to starting having a pain crisis. And that's when reality really set in that something was, really wrong. And,
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Wow. And we know that it happens with children with sickle cell that, that they have high fevers, they have, and usually that's because it's a sign they're going through a crisis, or maybe they have like something going on, like, either where they have a bug going on in their system. And so, yes, we do know that happens. And so as those things begin to happen, I can imagine you'd be feeling, helpless or anything. So can you tell me, as a sickle cell mom, because I know there's a lot of parents out there with sickle cell children, and how do you go about, those times? And now that you're an adult, right? Yeah. Okay. Didn't get the accent. Yeah. You're an adult. During those years, how did you go about not feeling helpless or feeling like, what did you do to keep going?
to be honest with you, it was extremely, can be still now, but you feel guilt. You know what I mean? Because of course it's genetic.
True.
So you're passing it on to your child. So of course you're gonna feel like, my God, did I do this to my child?
Oh, wow.
And then as a mother, you're supposed to be able to fix everything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're supposed
Yeah.
to kiss the boo-boo.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make it okay. And then when your child is looking at you in excruciating pain, like, mommy, help me, and there's absolutely nothing you can do, it is like the worst feeling in the world as a parent to see your child suffer.
Wow.
And there's nothing you can do about it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I felt guilt. I felt shame. I felt helpless.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
I
really
never
deep.
went on there because she acted strong in front of me.
Yeah,
You see?
she never saw me like totally break down.
Wow.
Like I would go in the room and just like lose it and then come back out and be strong.
For
Because
her.
she's never, even as an adult, she's never been in the hospital without me.
Wow.
So
You
That's how my
know,
mom
I
is.
that's see,
My
we
mom is the
see it
same
in
way.
a different perspective because we were children and we never seen our mom break down. But I know there was times I heard tears coming out,
I
but
saw my mom do it once.
she never
When
really
my
liked to
uncle had
show
just
me.
passed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like my uncle was like her baby because
Mm-hmm.
you know he was born in the Bahamas,
mm,
and they didn't know what sickle cell was at that time. It was just you know they was treating it as leukemia basically.
wow.
So he didn't walk until he was about 3 or 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know, when he passed, my mom broke down because that was like she would be there every day, you know, cleaning his feet, making sure he's sponged down, he's clean. And then, you know, I got sick like a couple of weeks after he passed away, and the doctors was, you know, just being very procrastinating. It wasn't Dr. Harrington, it was we were waiting for him to come in, and it was just, you know, the ER doctors were being very, you know, like they are. And my mom started like going mad, crazy, and I started seeing tears in her eyes. I was like, "Oh Lord, I don't like this. This will make me say, you know what? I'm gonna change my diet. I'm gonna change the way I eat, what I drink, because I don't like my mama. See my mom like that, and I don't want, and I hate the hospital. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't like going to the hospital.
Me too. I think all of us
Yeah,
here. All of us here.
She's like the last major crisis I had. She's like, "Why are you not in the hospital?" So listen, I'm not going in the hospital. I'm on vacation. I'm not going to the hospital, and I can't do it. We're gonna treat this thing until we get it right at home.
Yep. Same way we heard.
Yeah. I mean, we're natural fighters, you know,
Exactly.
and so it's like, you know, it's yeah.
That's the last. Yeah.
Last resort. And see, sometimes that's what we want the world to know. You know, we want them to know, hey, we don't want to come to the hospital. So if we really here, it's because we're really in pain.
Exactly.
Trust me, we'd rather be at home putting some hot pads or getting some Epsom salt bath or whatever we have to do. We take every resort possible before we come. And so I understand, you know, and you know, I'm a mom now. So, you know, but it's still different because I don't have children with sickle cell disease. And I do know when they do get sick because they have asthma and I don't like to claim stuff for my children, but they have asthma problems. They have some other problems that they go through. And I understand how you feel, but I've never heard it the way you said it. That was very deep that you said you felt like it was your fault. And truly it's not. It's because this is a genetic thing. This came down passed down. And, but I do understand you saying that. That's truly deep. And you probably never thought your mom felt that way. And so I know that's probably like, wow, you know, because I wonder how my mom felt. So it's like
a lot of
parents that feel that way, and we never thought of it. But as I'm saying this, you know, but I do feel helpless at times because when I'm sick and I'm supposed to be the mom in the house, it's oh man, it's the worst thing ever because I had to teach my children how to cook, you know, certain foods, how to cook breakfast and stuff, because there was times where my children had to wheelchair me around and they were little, 3 or 4, and I had to try to make some sandwiches. And even though I have a husband and there's a lot of you out there that don't have, you know, a spouse or something to help, and I did have that, but he was at work. You know, so sometimes I had to take care of the kids, but I couldn't do nothing because sometimes when a crisis, people don't know, it cripples us, right? And when it cripples us, we can't move. And so I understand that. You want to say something?
No, I just want her to, you know, I know she's a mom that has a daughter with sickle cell and she does advocacy for sickle cell. I just want her to get into, you know, talking about your program.
Okay, we were established in 2015, and how it came about was everyone that I know with sickle cell, especially the adults. I don't know one adult with sickle cell that does not have a horror story. I don't know not one.
Wow.
That doesn't have a story about they went into the hospital, this happened to them, they got mistreated by this doctor. We need help. We need it now. So that's how it got started. As far as the name, Advancing Sickle Cell Advocacy Project, but we go by ASAP because when you think of ASAP, you think of
emergency,
urgency,
quickly,
as soon as possible.
I love it.
As soon as possible. So, you know, that's how we started. Literally, we started meeting in my living room, and then we branched out. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we provide services in terms of support group. We have a support group that we meet every fourth Saturday of the month. We do a picnic for children with sickle cell and their families every year at CB Smith Park.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
And that's one day when the kids could come together. Like last year, we had more kids than we've ever had. Wow. It was a blessing. And to see like all these kids on this one day, nobody's thinking about they have sickle cell. You know what I mean? All you're thinking about is just having fun. Having fun and being a kid. So this year, we're going to do it on June 22nd. It's open to the public and everything.
Oh, okay.
We just started our Sickle Cell Moms, Sickle Sisterhood. Last year we did a brunch exclusively for Sickle Cell mothers.
Okay.
Because it's a need, like it's a language that we speak that no one else can know and understand.
Can you break that out? And do you have to have a child with sickle cell, or you have to be
a mom with sickle cell as yourself?
Oh, okay.
Or have a child with sickle cell.
Okay.
A caregiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a lot of caregivers there too. And it was a blessing because it's some things you might not even be able to share with your spouse, your significant other. You can have a child with sickle cell, but when you connect with another mother, it's like we're immediate family. You know what I mean? Like we're in this real sisterhood, we're connected.
Because you have similar experience.
True.
That's true. Yes. So this year we're gonna do something like on the beach for all, for the moms. Just get together and fellowship, get to know each other.
Okay.
And things like that. And then every year in September we do a forum where at the forum is geared towards education.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yes. The forum we've had doctors come in, speak. We've last year we had vocational rehab. We just want to let the community know, sickle cell community know, like different resources that are available that they might not hear about because no one tells you these things. Like, okay, you can get help for this. You can, if you need a resource for this, it's there. Wellness, how to take care of yourself, things that they don't tell you. And especially now with everything that we're dealing with, you might not have access to pain medicine anymore. We need to be looking at alternative, alternative ways to, to help ourselves. And then also for the community, it's for sickle cell patients and warriors, but also for the community to educate them on the importance of knowing if you have the trait. Because even, believe it or not, even right now, there's so many people that don't even understand. Don't know if they have the trait. They're walking around. They do not know. They don't know until they have a child.
True. And it could have been prevented or at least been, I guess ready, prepared,
educated.
Mentally, okay, this is the chances, of what would happen if I'm with this person, I think that's very necessary that, people should be hearing about this. And I love that the fact that you have an advocacy program that's doing this, getting the community involved and everything else.
I was saying that's a good thing because the last you heard of people actually being tested for sickle cell prior to it happening now, a lot of programs coming out was the Black Panther.
Right.
And you don't have a lot of those programs that are out there now. So when you see people actually out there trying to educate the community, I feel like a lot of people need to push it, to share it, because this one thing our community lacks is education when it comes to knowledgeable things that concern us as a whole. Because sickle cell is just not, a certain community. It's everybody. A lot of people don't, like you were saying, don't even know that it's in their family, or they make jokes of it. I've heard jokes when I was growing up as a child about jokes about sickle cell. Oh, you in pain, or you walk like this, you walk like that because you in pain. Oh, I'll hit you, I'll make you go into a pain. It's
Tupac song.
Yeah. When you're talking about prodigies.
Making fun of it.
Even Ricky Smiley, I don't think he realized that he was making fun of sickle cell anemia in one of his comedy sketches on his show. But it hit home to a lot of people because he was talking about a person died from sickle cell, something related to sickle cell anemia. That's something that should not be joked on. Is nothing to be taken lightly because people die daily from sickle cell.
He even said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Died daily from sickle.
And he's cool, you know. He was doing a joke with all kinds of diseases, but I guess he did kind of name us specifically into his joke. He was talking about people that, you know, that it wasn't called for. To put it that way. Yeah, it was insensitive.
Lack of education and knowing things of it. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, I do have somebody did ask a question. Eric, he says, so how do people get more info about the Mother's event?
They can go to our website. They can also send an email to info at asapbeinformed.org, which is info ASAP beinformed.org. Okay. And they can also follow us on social media.
True.
Twitter, Instagram, ASAP Beinformed. Okay. For more info on that. Okay. And they can send an email to join the mailing list too.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, I know sometimes, you know, as a person with sickle cell, you know, what would you want people to know is about sickle cell, and what you want people to know about it? I guess I'm asking you.
It's very serious.
Courtney.
It needs to be taken seriously. I wish that, especially when you go into the hospital, they're not attentive like they should. I feel like.
True. I feel that same way too.
It's an issue with the adults because when she was in pediatrics, you know, you say sickle cell,
they rush
and you
back.
Immediately go to the back.
I know, you now you've experienced adulthood. That's
And it's traumatic.
It's changed. It's a big change.
She was used to getting, you know, catered to, cared for, you know, more concern, and then when you transition to adult, it's like
whatever.
Yeah. And you know what's so you know what's so weird to me is like if you have cancer as a child or cancer as an adult, they still treat you the same way. They care. They feel so sad for you. But it's like the minute you become a sickle cell patient with when you were a child, you know, we had all the catering. They took us to summer camp and I mean, it's just to get our mind off of things, you know, I get that. But, you know, but when you become an adult, all of a sudden now I didn't even know the light was on. Sorry. But when you become an adult, now all of a sudden they just like, okay, you're a drug addict, or you know, you need you only want pain medicine, but we needed the pain medicines when we were kids. Yeah. The same pain medicines.
Exactly.
So,
and of course, when you're a child, your tolerance is not going to be the same when you're an adult. You've been taking medication since you were an infant.
Yeah.
That medicine is no longer useful for you anymore. Exactly.
But I think what we need to do as adults also, adult sickle cell, I know we get frustrated, we get tired, but when we're mistreated, we have to leave paper trails. We have to hold these hospitals and physicians accountable because they're working for us. You know what I mean?
They're getting paid.
Exactly. And when they send those surveys to your house, don't throw them in the garbage. Fill them out. True. Because they have to keep a record of everything, and these hospitals
before the survey even come, I'm snitching. we gonna get your head nurse involved. We gonna get my Dr. Harrington involved, and we gonna get your name. What is your position? And because let me tell you something, that's what I learned about other minorities, other races. Leaving paper trails is what makes a difference.
Yes.
Just speaking on making a video, oh well, okay. Yeah. But when you make your voice heard through an email or a letter and it gets to the top head, trust me.
And you have to organize.
Yeah. And it's the same way, you know, that paper trail, as she's saying, is so important. And it's the same way as the issue as like police is, you know, when we, you know, if you have had problems with the police, leave that paper trail. I think paper trail will catch up to that person. Eventually, they would either have to be fired or something would have to happen.
It has to be documented. And hospitals have ratings, you know. And a lot of these hospitals, they don't want the boat rock. They want to keep their good A rating and things like that.
Yeah.
And I brought this too because I wanted to share this really quick. Because when Naomi had invited me to come to do this, I had remembered that I did. My daughter was featured in the Miami Herald with Dr. Pegalo.
Oh, okay. And, that was our doctor too. Yes. Oh, okay.
I miss Dr. Pegalo.
I know.
Now, this was in 1990. Really quick, this was in 1997. and it said Seeking Hope for Sickle Cell.
Okay.
And I thought it was so ironic because we're still seeking hope.
It's 12
we're in
years
2019.
Later. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We're literally in 2019.
No, that's 22 years later. We tripping. I'm tripping.
Yeah, that's yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, seeking hope for sickle cell. And this is my daughter right here.
Wow.
And at this time, she's in the hospital on her 33rd hospitalization, and this was like at age like 7.
I don't know if you guys can see it. Wow.
That was her 33rd hospital visit.
You serious at that time?
At that age, yes.
Wow.
Now we're over 100, but
yeah, I'm sure of that. Yeah. I mean, I remember I remember there was like for 3 years. I don't even imagine what Jackson paperwork is on me, but there was for 3 years, 2009, 2011, 2009, 2010, 2011. See, I missed my count. But anyways, I remember going to hospital almost like every other month or almost every month. And I had to get the file for something. It was something that was going on with me. Mm-hmm. And then so I'm coming in there, I'm thinking it's just gonna be like something like this little or something. Child, that thing was
like 4 phone books. Oh my God.
I said, what? I was so surprised how much paperwork just for 3 years. And so I'm not ashamed to say I'm 37. I don't even want to imagine what's my paperwork look like. So when you say you're 33rd, like that's just like amazing that you're keep going. And I know this is personal, but guys who are out there, hopefully you don't have a problem. She's already having pain, but she's here. Mm-hmm. So those of you who are out there, see, you think sometimes we don't put on it. We're not trying to put on a show. We're not trying to tell you that we're not in pain. She's actually in pain, but she's here talking. But there's sometimes the level of pain gets so bad that we cannot talk anymore, and we need that help, and we need those.
And because you're able to hide it, they think you're fake.
Not necessarily hide it. I think the coping
mechanism.
You guys been dealing with this so long. You know how to cope.
And
sometimes
and function. Yeah.
It's perceived as okay. She's not really in pain.
Yeah.
No, you're in
pain.
Yeah.
It's not pain where I'm like, oh, please just everybody leave me alone right now.
Yeah. You know how to cope.
Yeah.
You know how to deal with it. It's not that you're not.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to just go to the hospital. You want to be able to live a life. And that's what they don't catch. We're not trying to not have a life. Mm-hmm. We don't always want to have to deal with sickle cell all the time and stuff.
Do you work?
No. Yeah, it's not easy.
I know it's hard because, listen, I have a job. It's stressful. Mm-hmm. And it can get you there. And it can the stress, sometimes the levels of stress at work can make a crisis come down. So I'm going to tell you something. If you are an entrepreneur, if you could find something to do on your own, and if you could become your own boss, do that. Because that's what I'm trying to transition into right now. Because it's some things that, big companies are great for, when it comes for the insurance and things like that. But it's other things that they don't get, that they don't understand, that, I push my way a lot of times to work in pain. And I'll take as much as I can, and then the next day I'm like, listen, that's it, I'm out. No, I don't have it.
Yeah,
I don't got the patience for it today. I'm out of here.
It's not worth your life. Exactly. It's not worth your health. It's
yeah.
One of my friends just lost his job because of his sickle cell.
Yes, really? And see, and that's not really supposed to happen.
He missed a lot of days of work because he was sick.
But was he there over a year? Do you know?
It was a couple of years.
Oh,
really?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about that once we finish.
Because see,
your friend gonna get paid. Don't worry.
Yeah, because unless your friend never mentioned,
it doesn't matter if they mention it or not.
True. She knows some stuff, so she'll tell you. I've
been in my job for 8 years. Trust me.
Wow.
I mean, I'm home now, but I do a lot of other things. But I do know that the jobs are not supposed to fire you and I was with my job for 11 years, something like that. And I became home for the last 3 years with my 3-year-old and my baby who's 1. So I haven't been back, but she still want me back as an early Head Start teacher. But I just couldn't do it anymore because I ended up having 5 kids, and it's just
that's amazing.
it's a lot. Yeah, because
that in itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because, I said, boy, you doctors got that wrong, because they told me I was not going to be able to have children. Wow. And then they say, you may have children, but not that many children. Boy, they got it wrong.
Wow. Anyway. And that's why you can't listen to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they told me, and I asked her, was it okay for me to share? When she was 2 years old, I'm not going to name the hospital.
Yeah, please don't, yeah.
When she was 2 years old, they came in the room and told me, do not plan for her to go to college because she won't be here. A doctor actually told me this. And here it is. I'm a teenager.
And I've been told I can't have children either.
See, that's probably meant for you to hear that. But, in due time, I got married and I had a good support system. Yeah.
I never listen because I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I just want one. Just one. I don't want them. Just one.
They say that to all people.
Yeah. I mean, I had another situation where, I was also, they were saying cancer in my uterus, but like I tell you, my story, if I tell you some of my stories, it's just like only God. Only God has brought me through these things. And so the same way as for you and for your daughter that you both had see that there's sometimes doctors, they can only tell you what they know on books, and you have to tell yourself what you can believe in. Now, everybody have their own faith, so, that's on you. But my faith is different. I've been told 3 days. They gave me 3 days to live, and literally doctor come in, and it wasn't Dr. here and he was on vacation. He's the best doctor. But he comes in like he knows Sickle Cell, and he's telling me, we done gave you 2 exchange transfusions. They took all my blood out, and they gave me whole new blood, and my liver was failing because I was having a crisis in my liver.
Wow.
And so things, and Corlez, we both, we have stories, and this is why we need to come together as a community. Yes. And we had Melanie here. She was telling her story, and now we have you guys here today too, telling your story. And go ahead. Yeah.
No, I just want to ask Kimba and Courtney, if you both, I know Courtney in pain, maybe you could piggyback off what your mom says. I always ask, if you can tell the world something about sickle cell patients, what would it be?
I would say put yourself, it's for women who don't have sickle cell, who have children. Imagine being in childbirth.
True.
For days. That type of level of pain.
I compare it to a toothache. A really bad, severe toothache.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
That toothache all over your body.
Yeah, I can agree.
Real,
yeah. I compare it to hitting your pinky toe, and that throbbing feeling, and it never goes away.
Nah, yeah. I broke my foot. That ain't got nothing to do with it. No.
But I would say also that sickle cell is considered invisible because the person looks so healthy and normal on the outside, but in the inside is weak to have it.
Yeah.
So I would say be understanding, be compassionate, treat the person with respect. Don't just try to stereotype.
And don't walk on eggshells.
True. Oh, I love that.
Yes, because we are people. Yeah, exactly.
And make us feel different from regular other people. I don't like being singled out like that. For my illness.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important because a lot of us, feel like sometimes that we are singled out. But, at the same time, like you said, you don't want nobody to make you feel like eggshells and stuff like that. Don't feel like you have to be doing eggshells around you. Sometimes it's just, it's the person who's around you, the relationship they have with you may cause that to be that way. Yeah. It's all depending on that relationship. So if that relationship, if they're, if it's you, sometimes she might be, or if it's somebody else, it's depending on the person, and it's the way they care about you in a different way. But yeah, I do feel you want to feel like you're just normal.
Yes.
I get that. But who said that something so profound? I think we had a show something about we are the They said the
that
normies.
Dr. Harrington.
Yeah, what did he say?
That was Lixon.
Lixon. Yeah,
he calls
said
the people who don't have sickle cell. He calls them normies.
Yeah.
They don't know anything that we're going through.
Yeah.
And they don't know the difficulties that we have to deal with. So they're the normies, and we're the special ones.
Yeah. So yeah. So I know we kind of stopped you. Keep going. I want you to finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
That's basically what I was saying. Because a lot of times, also, you know, when you think of a normie, when you would get sick, you would be like, "Oh, let me go to the hospital." You wouldn't think twice if you were a normie. Okay, let me go to the hospital. But I want people to understand, if you're an adult with sickle cell, the hospital can be a scary place.
Yes.
Because guess what? You might not come out, and it might not even be for the sickle cell. It might be for the lack of care that you're getting.
True.
It might be, you know, neglect, you know. So an adult with sickle cell, the hospital can be very, very scary. So I would say, don't judge someone with sickle cell.
True.
You know, until you've walked in their shoes, until you've actually experienced being around someone. I witnessed a 3-month-old baby go through a crisis. You know, I mean, that was like the worst thing I've ever seen. You know, so I think that people need to be just more aware.
Wow.
More aware and have more compassion and understanding for people with sickle cell.
Yes.
Especially adults.
That's so true.
Wow. Okay. And I just want to ask this question. What made you say I have to get involved and help patients and parents dealing with sickle cell?
Well, like I said, when hearing everybody has a horror story and just wanting to make a change.
Yeah. What was your story with your daughter? And then you can tell me what was your story.
Yeah, a lot of these people you meet inside the hospital.
Okay.
Because, you know, you share rooms sometimes with other people who have sickle cell. So you connect and talk a lot. Okay. That's how it usually starts.
Okay.
Now with her, she had her hip replaced. She's had some serious things happen to her, like at a very young age.
Well, not all, but you know, tell us what you felt like that made you.
And she had a very horrible experience. Like when she had her hip surgery, she almost died.
Wow.
She had to be transported to she was in ICU for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And the doctor that did the surgery basically threatened to put her in a nursing home. It was a nightmare.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. We left that hospital, and she ended up going because she was still in pediatric at that time. So we ended up leaving that hospital and going way to another one where they admitted her into ICU.
Wow.
So, and that's a whole other story. I had to fight that battle. But I'm like, this is not normal. Like the average person would think, okay, you know, the hospital's there to make you better and stuff like that. But with sickle cell, you have to be on guard, like at all times. And if you're an adult, you have to have a caregiver. You need an advocate when you're an adult with sickle cell. Because if you're alone, you're medicated, you're in pain, you can't really advocate for yourself. So, you know, but we've had some really bad ones, but that was, and I'm not saying all doctors and hospitals are bad. No, I'm not saying that.
Some amazing ones, and there's some ones that just don't care. They're just there for the paycheck.
Yeah.
And the medical community we need to be like working with each other, not against each other.
True.
You know, it needs to be some real understanding.
And I think the advocacy programs need to work more with each other too. That's another thing I want to say, because there's a lot of advocacy programs with sickle cell, but it's like, your program is here, my program is here, but we all fighting the same cause.
The same cause.
We're saying we need to come and the community is small. We really want to get things done. Cancer, what they did, whether you had they had their own advocacy program. When it's that time of the month, they come together and they do something like big, unified front. Say, hey, especially the breast cancer community. You know, that's how breast cancer really, I think, took off more because of the breast cancer community. The women sit together and say, hey, we have a serious issue. We're dying from this. And the AIDS, exactly. And we need to come together, and every program is doing something unique and great, but they need to come together. To me, we need to come together and really stand together and say, hey, we need the world to know that this is a serious disease. People are dying, whether children or adults, they're dying from it. And when if not dying from it, they're going through things constantly. And that's another thing, it's a constant battle.
And I lost my a young man who was like my little brother. He was 23, and he was also a patient, Dr. Pitlow. But he passed away, and that was, I mean, to see somebody so young, 23 years old, full of life, you shouldn't be, And me personally, I took a break from social media because I just couldn't deal with it. Every time I click on there, I'm seeing on the timeline, RIP, I just couldn't do it. For my own mental health and sanity, I was like, you know what, I need to not, be on there so much right now.
I'm on social media only for this page, but I did have to take a...
I'm
exhausting.
Literally. Yeah, I'm barely on social media. Only time I am is for my business, which I do have, but that's on Instagram. But like, I do try to sometimes check in, to see, but especially when it was December. I think December was like a terrible month because I was I try to stay on, but it was like
that's when I took a break.
Yeah. It was like every day somebody was saying they dead. And it was like, if you're in the part of the sickle cell groups, you was hearing it's like, this person dead, this person. I said, oh no. I said, okay, that's enough for me. And see, they don't know that about our disease. That we go through that there's somebody dying constantly from this disease.
I think it was the one with Davinia. I think that's her name, Daniels. That's the one that said, you know what? I can't take it. She was supposed to, she contacted us to do the show and she passed away like a couple of weeks later. And I was like, that's it. Yeah. I just need to.
Because I, as a parent, it's emotionally, spiritually, financially. It's so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then she doesn't even know. But when she was younger, like I had so much anxiety about something happening to her. Like I didn't sleep at night.
Oh, wow.
And seeing all the social media started bringing all that back up to me. So that's why I was like, I'm talking about, I would be like up all night, like checking, make sure, because I was driving myself crazy.
Wow. Wow.
I was really driving myself crazy. But then that's when you lean on your Lord, and you have to trust
God. Yeah, I agree because that's why I say do something. If you're not gonna be in God or have your own faith, find something to get your mind off of what the world or the doctors say may happen to you, because they're not the final one that's going to say you're going to die that day. This is how it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
I mean, you might live a full life. There is some people that have lived to 80, 90 years old with sickle cell. And some of them have never really even had too many crises. Or if they did have it, we had it at a certain point when they was young. And then all of a sudden it slowed down as they got an adult. Or some of them, it's different. You don't know. So I thank you, baby. You said real overcomer. But sometimes, we as the sickle cell community, we need to just not allow always what the doctor take their advice.
Yeah.
But when it comes to certain things, you have to say, okay, this is what I can agree with you, and this is where I have to say, okay, enough. Because if I went with everything that every doctor has said to me, I would be totally messed up. I'm supposed to be one-legged person, okay? Because where the doctors said they said that, it was so much I have a big scar in my leg, and they had got it out so much because of osteoitis. But I always say that word, osteomyelitis. Anyways, but but originally the doctors were thinking they was gonna have to remove my leg, and I can't imagine. I can't imagine your hip and your hip. But here we are, we're natural fighters, so.
You lost her hip at 11.
At 11, I wouldn't even know that. Wow.
But they wouldn't do a surgery until I was like 22. So I had to be in pain for all those years just because I was growing, and my growth didn't stop until I was like 20.
That happened.
Yeah, so I had to
Let
wait.
me ask you this. Are you having pain still from that? Or
no, because thank God I got one, and the good doctors, it was so messed up before because I had to have a hip coring prior to the hip replacement. Well, they had to take some parts of the bone out because it got infected because I caught salmonella.
Oh my goodness.
And so the muscles basically were dead. So the lining up part was not going to be accurate. But what type of hip they put in there was a ceramic. It wasn't a metal hip. Okay. So they used one of the hips they used for the athletes. So I got a doctor who actually does surgery for like the NBA and NFL players. So, my hip is amazing. I don't get pain.
She has a ceramic now, but believe it or not, since that surgery, chronic pain.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And is it worse than before? I mean,
it's the same.
I mean, wow. It's hard. It's hard. It's worse than
that
the
pain
crisis.
was real. Like, I was literally have to have my mom and my sister. My leg would get stuck. And I couldn't move. They would have to come rub it out. Because the bones had done gotten stuck together. And they would have to come rub it out in order for me to lay my leg straight. Or lay it enough where I can put a pillow underneath. Yeah, it was... That's something I would never wish on my worst enemy. That's a pain that's like, whoa.
Wow.
Did you did you talk to another physician about it? Like
get another opinion?
Four opinions.
Oh wow.
And they didn't see she's had so many tests done, they don't see anything. And it's like, okay, she's already high risk. Do we just open it up just to see and put her through that? So then then by her almost not being here from the surgery, we just do the best we can, like, because they don't see anything wrong with it. It's not loose. It's not infected.
I told them, you can't cut me no more on the hip. Like, listen, we just I'm gonna be on crutches because I'm not going. That's a 12-hour surgery.
Wow.
And the rehab is something else. The rehab is like a whole year just to get your body right. I had to stop college. I had to, just focus on trying to get my leg to walk. I had to learn how to re-walk over again, like. Because I'm before I was walking with a serious limp. It's a limp now, but it doesn't hurt me when I walk. It feels, I don't feel pain when I walk. And before
pain?
I used to feel pain in the back. It would go all into my back. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's a very traumatic experience.
Oh wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. Wow, man. See, this is what you guys need to know about these things. That like. That's another thing that goes with sickle cell surgeries and the constant surgeries that come along, or the constant transfusions, that things that people don't recognize, that you don't have to live with these things. You have a normal life, but we don't, we deal with surgeries, we deal with transfusions, we deal with, and worst of all, we don't want to get any kind of bug that will hurt us, because our blood is constantly trying to fight,
Exactly.
A cold turn to
pneumonia easily. Yeah. And normal stuff like strep throat and stuff like that can cause you to get a crisis like it did to me.
Work at the airport. I don't think people really, the customers don't understand when I say, like, I have sanitizer and Lysol, and they do some of the nastiest things ever. Like, they'll blow their nose in their hand and their license, and I'll be like, ew. I'm like, I'm not touching that. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'll pass a napkin with some sanitizer and wipe your hands, please. Yeah. And if they're going to be fun, I'm not being fun. I'm being serious. Like, my life is dependent on this. I'm not trying to get whatever form of disease. You came from Argentina or whatever.
You're coming from a whole other place.
I can't.
Yeah. Yes. I don't blame her. Which girl, let's tell me that. All I can do is just laugh all the time. I'm like, I feel you.
Listen, I keep sanitizer. I have the big one, the little one, the Lysol wipes, and some regular Lysol spray. I don't play. I don't care. I do not care.
So we're going to ask more about your advocacy program. Just one more thing. You told us about the mother, and you told us, so is there, for the forum, I don't know if it's you, if I heard it or not. Do you guys also teach how to do, like, you don't do certifications or anything like that?
No, we don't do, no.
Okay.
We don't do any certification.
Okay.
Or anything like that. We're more so, educating, spreading awareness, and being a support.
Okay.
Being a support system.
Okay. So that's what we wanted to make sure. Yes.
No, I just want to say thank you to both Kimba and Courtney for coming through. I know you're trying to fight through.
Yeah, and so we're not going to hold you.
Just giving your time.
Yes.
Today.
And tell us about the program. Thank you, Kimba. Thank you for sharing your story. And we were glad to have you. And I pray that you feel better soon. And I pray that you stay strong, and like you said, just keep leaving. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And we just keep trusting God, and trusting in whatever fate you have out there, because trusting for me is trusting God, it's I always claim my healing, and I don't know if you do, but I claim my healing because there's a lot of times that doctors have claimed a lot on me. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I'm not saying for anybody else, but for me and my personal experience, by me claiming my healing, claiming that God can heal me all the time, things that doctors said should be, I speak it into existence, and things always changed out for me. To them, I should have been a one-legged person. To them, I should not have kids. The last baby I had, to them, I had a blood clot in my lung. To them, it's a lot of things that could have supposed to happen, but here it is. God keeps me, and I tell you all that are out there, stay strong. It's we're made different. We're fighters. Mm-hmm. You're a fighter, and I just want you to know that. And even though you feel like you're different, you are. But you're great different. It's not a bad different. We go through stuff that people cannot go through and make it out of it. We're able to say, hey, you know what happened to me the other day? Could you go through this?
No, not at all.
And just put a smile on your face and say, you know better than me because you couldn't come through what I've been through, Mm-hmm. So I just want to say that to you to stay encouraged.
And family that support you.
Yes.
Because I got some friends that'll be like, at the drop of a dime. Yeah. And then you got some friends that I have to cut off because everybody ain't for you. Everybody ain't there to help you. Yeah, they just there to leech on to you. Yeah, and if you once you says that, Oprah Winfrey said something profound. There's some things I like of Oprah, and some things I don't. And I can say that. Anyways, but she said one thing that I'm gonna tell you that all of you who are out there. She said the moment when you're finding friends or whoever in your life, the moment they show themselves to you, take that and believe it. Yes. Because that's who they really are. That's true. If they show you, especially when it's a moment that you're supposed to be thriving and feeling like, okay, you with me or you not with me, Right. And if you feel like they beefing it and don't have good intention for you, trust me, they are who they are. But if you feel like, hey, they care that you're doing good, especially us, we've been through so much. Sometimes we need a little good. So if you're not around when my good is starting to happen and you showing me you beefing and you showing me you got problems with me, you cut them out your life because we got enough problems as it is. That's right. So with that said, for you all out there, that's my little knowledge for you today. If they show you, if you're having a friend problem, then look at that, who they showing you who they really are. But if you want to know if that friend is really for you and they're showing you good intentions and good ways, then that's who they are, So that's my wisdom for today. I want to thank all the Instagram viewers right now. Mm-hmm. I see my sisters here, and I see some other viewers. Welcome to the live. Mm-hmm. We're about to be up, but you can watch it once we end it.
Yes, that's true. Check us out. Those who did not been able to come on. Somebody said something, I don't know. Anyways, we will be posting and we will share it. So you guys share it. We thank you, Kimba. We thank you, Courtney. Yes, and always send information. Let's start sharing what we're doing. Sometimes I just text me or tell me, hey, because
I really want to make it to her. Stephanie's group. But she works. It's like I'm transitioning. I'm trying.
And I have one car. My husband works, so if I made it to I think one or two things or something. Yeah, and it's been real hard. So we're gonna work that out. But we need to come together and do these things more often and start sharing what's going on in our community.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Okay, guys, we want to thank you, and again, we are Fightingthroughourpaintv.
Check us out on our website. For those who are watching as well, please, if you would like to donate, we do have a GoFundMe page to help us to keep going with what we're doing. We also have, as well, I'm sure you have a donate page too.
Yeah, they can donate on the website, asapbeinformed.org. There's a link they can donate as well.
Okay. And we also work with Saving Sickle Cell Lives for you are out there. there. And one of the things that we do promote the shirt. And this is for the children in Haiti. We live in America, and it's a little more easier to deal with sickle cell. I'm not saying that it's this, but for them, it's very hard for them to get medications, and it's very hard for them to get vaccines and get the screening for the parents who have new babies. This is one of the main things that they do. They do newborn screening. And then so if you're able to buy a shirt, this will help donate towards their cause. Thank you again. My name is Naomi.
And I'm Corlez. And guys, we thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you next week.
And we're Fighting Through Our Pain TV.
All right.